Alright guys, I got a huge complaint about developers for the Wii. Honestly, do you even try? Do you even fucking try? I mean, I went back and I played this god-awful game, Star Fox Adventures. The gameplay is god-awful, but the physics and graphics were amazing for its time. In all honesty, this competes directly with Cameo. I honestly see very few things in Cameo that were improved in comparison to Star Fox Adventures in terms of physics and graphics. But let's see how many years. Let's see what year this game was made. Alright, folks. This particular game was made in 2002. Star Fox Adventures. Brilliant, amazing graphic pushing game for its time. Obviously, it wasn't on the PS2, so therefore it was an amazing graphic looking game. But the PS2 is still alive today, and because of it, there was a Star Wars The Force Unleashed game released, and this was in 2008. It also got a Wii port for it. And instead of the developers thinking of remaking the physics and graphics towards the Wii, a much, much higher spec development system, a lot more powerful than the GameCube, I get PS2 quality graphics and physics. Now, obviously, I don't give a shit about graphics, because I am a PS2 owner. And if I was really a graphics whore, last gen, I would have gone with the Xbox and the GameCube. But I like the PS2 because it had a better library. It's kind of the deal why I have a Wii this generation. But it kind of pisses me off when I get PS2 quality physics on my Wii, when I know that my Wii can handle so much more. Honestly, the Wii is a lot more powerful than the GameCube, but the GameCube games still overmind it in graphics and power because developers still want to pump life in that 10-year-old system that no one barely gives a shit about anymore. I mean, honestly, how much did Call of Duty World at War sell on the PS2? Not that well. Not even from what I've heard, not even 30,000 copies. Not even 30,000 copies of World at War on the PS2 sold, so why bother making one? I mean, the Wii version sold over 100,000 at least. Almost a million now. Someone correct me. But come on, that's a lot more than that shitty PS2 gave you, to be quite honest. And I don't think the PS2 is shit. Don't get me wrong. I like the PS2. I love the PS2. It was an amazing console for its time. But I honestly think it's time to take it back like Old Yeller and put it out of its misery. Because honestly, it's affecting the Wii a lot. And honestly, a lot of the quality control from the Wii, and the reason there's a lot of crap is because a lot of the PS2 developers have switched platforms, and they're going and developing shit on the Wii that feels like a PS2 game. And the Wii, honestly, is a little bit more powerful than the original Xbox, and I don't see that quality. In fact, we never even saw that quality in the original Xbox and GameCube and PS2 era because the PS2 had majority market, so we saw PS2 quality games. And then, the exclusives on the GameCube and Xbox showed that they were more powerful systems. But there is no excuse today for me to see PS2 quality physics and graphics on a console that's obviously superior in hardware to it. I mean, the GameCube was superior in hardware to it, the Xbox was superior in hardware to it, and the Wii is definitely superior in hardware to the PS2. There is no reason at all. I've seen Elebits. I've seen what physics can be done on the Wii. And Elebits proves that some of the physics on the Wii are better polished than they are on the Xbox 360 and the PS3. So why the hell am I seeing PS2 quality physics? There is no excuse for this. There is no reasoning for this. The PS2 is basically a niche platform. If you still own a PS2 and you are actually buying stuff like The Force Unleashed, Mercenaries 2, and shit like Call of Duty World at War on it, honestly, buy an Xbox 360 because it's $200 now. It was as much as your system was when you got it back 7 years ago. And there's tons of quality games on the Xbox 360, and it's $200. And the Jasper model, there's no red ring of death on the Jasper model as of yet, and there's barely any hardware problems with it whatsoever. The Jasper model is basically the best model. In fact, if you bought a $200 arcade system today, you'll be getting a better Xbox 360 than mine, that I paid $400 for in 2006. So I honestly do not see the reason why people still bother with the PS2. I don't see the reason why there's still development for it. I don't see why it's still in line, because honestly, it's just killing the Wii. It's killing the Wii's library. It's killing the quality control, because all developers are doing is that they're developing shitty PS2 games and then adding motion controls on them and then slapping them on and calling them a Wii game. Although I really enjoyed the fun of Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, it was a PS2 game. It was a PS2 game with motion controls. That's all it was. That's all it felt like, and that's all the effort they put into it. Although the motion controls were more well polished than most of the PS2 ports we've seen, it was still that. It was still a PS2 port. It wasn't a Wii game. There was no Wii graphics. There was no Wii physics. It didn't feel like a Wii game. It felt like a PS2 game. And honestly, that pisses me off. Although I do enjoy my Wii thoroughly, I don't think that this is the way third-party development should be on the Wii. When we have stuff like House of the Dead Overkill, when we have stuff like The Blob, we have all these quality games that get ignored, and stupid shit like PS2 ports outsell them, and it pisses me off to no end to know that the consumer is this dumb for the Wii. I mean, honestly, I'm glad that this Nintendo first party is completely destroying the third party this gen, because it thoroughly fucking deserves it.